the live stream.
So you can go ahead. I'll let you know if there's a problem. Or
Oh, okay, terrific.
I'm
Yeah.
watching the chat. You can go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you guys. Well, I guess our first order of business would be to review and approve the minutes, and then we can kind of launch into where we're at with the training and next steps and all of that. So I know Damon had sent those around. If people had a chance to look at them, not take a quick read, and I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll move. Liza,
You move, Justine? Okay. And Liza will second. There's such a small group that.
I know there's.
Do you second that, Liza?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion or questions? No. All right. So we don't even have to say all in favor because we have such a small group. So those are approved. Thank you for the drafter of those, because it's hard to probably keep track of all of the conversation back and forth. So I appreciate it. All right. So the next item on the agenda is the discussion of the training. I thought I would just give a quick update. I know Justine has been involved with me, and I appreciate it, just sort of conducting some prep meetings with the groups that were presenting as a joint presentation. So we had a meeting with Joe DeTuno, who I believe, and I need to check in with him again, that's for day 2, doing the presentation with Johanna from Judicial. Originally that was going to be, he's going to do one piece of it, Joanna's going to do the other part. So I just need to confirm with them that they're all set to go. I am waiting on their, fleshed out outline for their component of it. So I will follow up with them about that. But we did a prep meeting with them. We also did a prep meeting with Jody Oshana and Colleen Drummond from DCF for day 3. They did send their fleshed out outline for us that we can incorporate it into the full curriculum that we'll put together for the full committee meeting on the 14th. And then I also did a separate prep meeting with Dr. Fraser and Stephen Paymer, who are going to be doing day 5 and day 6. Well, actually, Stephen Paymer will join him on day 6. For the addiction and drug testing component of the training. Stephen Paymer was on vacation, so I gave them a little bit longer to get us the outline, but they were going to actively work on that, so I suspect I'll get that in the next day or 2. So we did all those prep meetings. We kind of went over what the plans are going to be and the expectations for the training. We also finalized the announcement and the registration form, and that has been posted on both our website and Judicial's website, which links to ours. We did do a separate registration option for students with the caveat that they could register, they could submit a registration form, but that we can't formally approve it. This was Judge Albus had wanted us to just make sure the full committee was okay with letting students participate. He didn't see really an issue with it, but we will review that with the full committee on the 14th. And then any students who have registered, either prior to or subsequent to that approval, we'll be able to admit them to the training as well. So if you hadn't seen the link, I'll send it all around to the group. I know Damon has seen that, but I'll make sure that you guys have the link so you can see how it works. But we only posted, I think, Friday, and we've got 6 or so people registered already, which is good. So I'll keep you posted on that. Any other updates from the group, or Liza or Justine, or anything I missed, Justine, on the prep meetings that we did?
No, that was good. I did email Steve Humphrey, and I'll email him again, but we did not meet with him to go through
Yeah, I don't think we only had decided at our last meeting had talked about doing it with the people that were presenting together because some of them didn't know each other. You know, we were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Other than that, if it was an individual person, we were just reaching out whoever the contact person was. So certainly, just we can remind folks that we need the full agenda for their training because what I'm going to do is have Danielle once we get everybody's. We have yours, Liza. I think it's still the same, even though we added time. We can use your, yeah. So we have yours, we have the child development. I'm going to follow up with Joe DeTuno for his. And Justine, you can follow up with Dr. Humphrey.
Yeah,
and
I'm doing it right now as we speak because I did yesterday, but he didn't reply, and that's not like him, so.
Okay. And then Dr. Frazier and Stephen Paymer will get me theirs by Friday. So once we get all those, Justine, I'll get yours. We'll if I can't find yours from 2018, I will let you know.
I sent you my PowerPoint from 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look through it all the way, but it's about the role of the AMC and GAL, and it starts with the courtroom practice. So I think that might be it. But I didn't. I saw it. And I just said, "Oh, I'm going to shoot that over to her right away."
Okay.
But we might decide we want to change it.
Okay, that should be sufficient because I wasn't gonna and I'll put it out to the group. I wasn't planning on putting sharing all the PowerPoints at the full standing committee, just basically sort of a little bit more of a meatier full agenda. I think that's probably so that's fine. I think we have that outline of yours as well, Justine, so we'll be, I think, okay with that. And then I will also check back in with Danielle Rado and Sue Cousino. We did a joint planning session with them as well, and they were expecting to be
great.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. So anyway, so I think we'll be in good shape with putting together the outline. I'll make sure you guys get it sometime, a couple of days at least before the meeting on the 14th, so you guys can take a look at it and see if you have any questions or issues, and then we can present it to the group. The other next step that I kind of thought we need to do, I'm just keeping it on our sort of our checklist, is, and we'll work with our folks here that do a lot of these Zoom trainings, but we'll need to send, once we have a final list of the registrants, and we'll have one more meeting of our group before the training kicks off, but we'll need to make sure they get the link, the full agenda, and also any homework assignments. I think when we remind our folks to send us their list, we should also make sure that they send us any materials that they want us to share to the registrants, because I think it's going to be easier to just send out everything at once rather than having intermittent. I think we'll send out the agenda, any reading materials, and then the link to join. So we don't have to have too much ongoing communication back and forth. I think that will be easier. So just a reminder on that, because we do need to try to make sure we have approximately 4 hours worth of kind of reading material and homework. So at our next meeting, we can kind of look to make sure we've accomplished that.
Sue, I'll reach out to the Advisory Committee on Cultural Competency presenters, because I know I provided you with their outline, but they have materials that they wanted to be part of the distribution when those invitations go out. So I will email them and let them know that they can provide that as soon as they're able.
Okay, that's perfect. That'd be great. Yeah, I had the outline, so that's great. And if they do have materials, and Liza, I did, and I'm sorry if I didn't. I'm trying to just remember with your outline. Did you have the actual materials linked to that as well, or do you need to?
Yeah, there was a link to the document in that email, so that can just be popped right in the agenda with the note that it should be reviewed prior to the session.
Excellent. Okay, so we'll be all set there. And I don't know, did you have any, Justine, that you needed them to?
Oh, no, mine's very, very basic, so there won't be any, but maybe when we do the breakout rooms for that day, we'll have some stuff for them to review prior.
So if you have that, because what I was going to do is when we send out in advance of the first day, I'd like to send out everything at once. It'll tell them this is for this training day, rather than doing it piecemeal as the trainings evolve, if that's possible. I just think it will be a little bit cleaner. We'll make sure that they know it's for this day, but they'll have it all in advance. I think that will ensure that they have it. So I'll just put a question mark potentially for materials on that. I mean, worst case scenario.
I wanted to see what Danielle and Sue Cousino come up with to then create some scenarios for them to use, as well as Katie, Bessina, and I. And our scenarios, our presentations, you know, and work group is going to be much more basic than theirs. Yep. So, so I'm just waiting to see those materials before I create those. Scenarios.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm going to, you know, I think ultimately we would need. I guess the goal would be to send out that the link to the training, any materials in the final agenda sometime, I would say, because let's see, day one, I don't think there'll be training, homework prior to day one, which is June 2nd, but I'd like to try to get everything out to the registrants by, what do you guys think? Like Wednesday, the 26th, like a week in advance?
That last week of May.
Yeah. So, so we can tell everybody that, you know, the sooner they get that to us, the better. So, I mean, worst case scenario, if there's something that one of the speakers decides they want them to read that they didn't send in advance, excuse me, we can send a supplemental email, but I'd like to try to have it all sent out as a package. I think that would be the best way to go on that. The other thing, any questions on that? Does that make sense? Okay. So the other thing that we had talked about at our last meeting was making sure that we have a facilitator for each of the sessions who would be identified as the, excuse me, I think it's the host or co-host, whatever. Is that the right lingo? I think so for Zoom. Yeah, there's different teams calls it something else, but in any event, just so that that person can you know, unmute people, because I think the rules that we had talked about, that we'll make sure the speakers kind of know, and their facilitator can reach out in advance of the training to make sure. But I think we wanted to make sure that everyone, you know, is muted. And I think we can set that up that way when we send out the link, so that when you log in, everybody except the host and co-host are muted and videos on. And then the other instructions, I think that would make sense to me. And I guess if a speaker wants to do it differently, they could. But I think it would make sense to say, you know, use the raise hand and the chat function, you know, throughout the training, and that the facilitator would, you know, help to manage that. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Okay.
So, so I mean, I'm pretty sure that I am going to try to be in each of the sessions, but are there days that you guys, you know, well, I know obviously you guys will be there for yours. And so myself and or Danielle will be the facilitator for the one that you guys, you know, for yours, that you're, so that you don't have to try to manage that yourself. But any other days that you guys could be on to facilitate, or?
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull.
Just looking at my calendar.
Yeah. So I'll do. We'll go right through it. So for June, for the first day, and Danielle, before I know I said that last time, I throw you in front of the bus like that. Are you okay with the dates? Yeah. That are on that we have these scheduled to be on there with me? Because yeah, safety in numbers, as I like to say. But that way, if I screw it up, you can be my backup, or vice versa, however we decide to do it. Okay. So for Wednesday, June 2nd, then Danielle and I will manage that. And obviously, you guys can all be on any days that you want. You'll all have access to the link, but I didn't want you to feel like you had to. For day 2, Justine, you're going to be involved in that, at least the breakout session. Do you need a facilitator for? Well, maybe you do. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know until we do it once.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? Let's just be on the safe side. Let's just be on the safe side, and that'd be another day. I mean, I can certainly do that with Danielle, and then Danielle, what we could do is in the breakout sessions, I'll do one and you can do the other one. I don't know if you have a preference. I wouldn't mind sitting in on Danielle and Sue Cousineau's because I haven't seen them present before. So I'll do breakout room 2 and you
Okay.
can do breakout room 1.
We're talking about June 9th.
June 9th, yep.
All right, so 6-9, that's my presentation, and Danielle, you're going to cover mine?
Yep. And you also have June 2nd, you know, the overview day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
June 2nd, so I can't, okay.
So then we go, so then we have Monday, June 14th.
There's a couple of days that I suddenly have trial.
Oh, that's okay.
So I need to make sure. Yeah, June 14th, I am clear, so I could facilitate that day if you
Okay.
needed someone.
All right, that would be great. June 14th. And then June 16th,
I can do. I'm the first 2 weeks are hard for me because of session, and then I'm off the 14th. But I can do the 16th, 21st, and 23rd.
okay, that's perfect on the 16th because that's our annual meeting, Danielle.
Yeah.
So we we may not be able to be present that day. That's the only day that we can't do. Am I right about that? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Liza, that's great if you can do that. And do you want to do another one?
Sure.
Liza?
Yeah, the 21st or the 23rd. I actually won't be there on the DV day because I'm going to be on vacation. But my team will be there. But I can do the 21st or 23rd.
Okay. Do you have a preference? Any of those that?
No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Suddenly, my whole calendar is not showing up. I'm going to look on my phone instead.
That's okay. Well, Miss, I'll say that you want me to do the dates and tell you what they are.
June
All right,
20. All right, go ahead.
So June 21st, Liza, if you wanted, that's at Dr. Frazier's Family Dynamics. And then I don't mind, I mean, and again, I'm probably going to be on all of them. So if anything comes up, Danielle and I are going to be on them. So if anything comes up, you know, let us know. But I don't mind doing the next day, the day 6, which is June 23rd. That's the one, again, it's going to be Dr. Frazier with Stephen Paymer. So I'll do that one with Danielle. And the DV day, I don't know, Justine, does that work for you? That's the 28th?
The 28th, yeah.
Okay, so I'll have you do that one because that's when I say, Jamie and I are going to do at the very end of the domestic violence presentation. I call it, we're going to do the riveting OCPD contract and billing procedures, just to really, you know, go out with a bang. And so that'd be good if you can do that day.
Yeah,
and then last but certainly not least is the Wednesday, June 30th, and that's the Cultural Competence Day. And I'll be there for the last day too. So if you guys, I mean, I'm trying to think about this as like when we did it in person, we were kind of all there, or we kind of, you know, but I don't mind being the facilitator. I don't think they're going to need much. That one was more of a, well, I don't know, we'll see. But I don't mind doing that too.
That's the day I have a conflict.
Okay, so then that's great. So I'll do that. And Danielle. Okay. All right, so what I plan to do is when we've got the full agenda together that's approved, or the curriculum, I'll call it that because that's what the practice book calls it, that the committee has to approve on the 14th. Once we have that approved, I'll send that out to all of the presenters so that they can see the full outline. And I'll also send them who is their designated facilitator. And I'll copy everybody so you see that after the 14th. And that way they'll kind of know if they want to touch base and use the facilitator, not use the facilitator, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I just think it is easier to have somebody watching the hand raising and watching the chat. You know, some people may not
need to do that when you're doing the presentation.
Yeah, right. I think so too. I find that you know, it's easier for the presenters, I think.
It's like when you're hosting a meeting and all of a sudden you realize there's been 5 people in the waiting room.
Oh, the waiting room. Oh, Danielle, because remember I said, I actually had said that, I want to set mine up so that I don't have waiting room, because I literally was like almost done with the meeting and I realized like half the people that
I know.
were in the waiting room. Okay, so that is good. And then I think, we're gonna, like I said, we'll make sure that we have any technical details fleshed out here in terms of doing the breakout rooms that day, that second day on June 9th. I think we were told by our folks here it should be easy enough to just and Danielle and I are doing that one. So what we would just do is when Joe DeTuno and Johanna are done with their presentation, I'll announce to the group about the 2 breakout sessions. Click here for this one, click here for that one. So, and we'll see it'll be interesting to see which ones people pick, even though we might say one is for people who are not experienced or who are experienced. They might end up in the wrong session, but hopefully we can just do that live. They don't have to pre-register.
Yeah, we need to make it clear that the introductory one is really for beginners and for people who are not lawyers, because the lawyers were so frustrated with my presentation, I thought last time, that I don't want that to happen. I want them to choose wisely.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I'll explain it just like that, and then the breakout room 2 will be for experienced family lawyers, which will be it's sort of a different, I guess. And we'll see when I see Danielle and Sue's outline to see how they just, and I can reference that topic, in a little more detailed way to help people, choose which one is best suited for them. So I think that will be good. The only other thing that I was thinking about actually was, and I don't know if we have ours from 2018. We'll see if we can find it, but a survey following the training, which we would, as you guys may recall, Francis required that people submit that before they exit the building, which was wonderful because then we did.
Cookie
it's great. She was like a hawk, made sure. So it was helpful because we got good information from that. And if we don't require it, I feel like, or if we, I don't know, I guess we have to think about how we would want to do that.
It would definitely provided helpful feedback that, we have now taken into consideration for this next training. So I do think we need to do it daily though, right? Because I think if we wait till the end, people might not remember, because this is literally, 4 weeks later. So
yeah, you're right.
So whether or not it's just a quick daily, we can do it on SurveyMonkey.
Does somebody do you have, I don't know, Liza or anybody else, if you have a template, or if you would be willing to try to work on one that we could share with the group? And I guess we'd have to, would we give them time? I'm trying to think, or we just have them, I'm afraid if we have them submit it later, it won't get done. I wonder if there's time at the very end of each session that we give them, 5 minutes or so to complete the survey, but we'd have to have a way of actually letting them submit it electronically.
Yeah, I was thinking we would do an email blast to all the attendees at a certain point during the training. Maybe we do it the Wednesday after the Monday, and so this is the survey from the last time, complete that, we're about to get started, something like that. So it's the first thing they do. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
You can ask questions in Zoom. I just don't know how they get captured, and I don't know. And I know different tiers of Zoom allow you to capture more information after you've ended a meeting. So I don't know if it would work to do it directly in Zoom, or if it would just have to be a link to a SurveyMonkey sent after. Right. And if people fill it out, they fill it out. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll check with our training director here who uses this and see if she has some suggestions of how we could do that. Daily. But I do think you're right. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. It was okay. So, because actually, even when we did it live, we did it at the end of each day. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So But you're right, if we wait till the end of the month, I mean, I don't know what I had for breakfast, so they would not
Right.
probably really remember the details from, 30 days prior. So we will figure out a way to do that. So I'll put that.
I'm looking at what Frances used.
Yeah.
Last time, and it's like one of them would, because she had, just it was a score 1 through 5.
Yeah, 1 through 5.
How would
Yeah.
it be like this, right? And I imagine that would be very easy to capture directly in Zoom if we just know how we get that information from Zoom after. Because sometimes at certain tiers of Zoom, once you close that meeting, everything from that meeting is gone, right? So your folks will know what they can and can't capture from Zoom. I think the difficult thing to do directly in Zoom would definitely be the written feedback, which is, I think, where we got a lot of.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Because we could do something probably, like you say, that has them click, 1 through 5 numbers for 5 or so questions, whatever it is we ask. But you're right. I think the narrative where we said, like, put your comments here, we got a lot from that.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm thinking it may be that we just, we could.
And people do it or they don't do it,
Yeah, we might have to do that. So, yeah, I think that's probably what we'll do. I'm thinking the other way is just going to give us some numerical measures, but maybe not the quality, the content, the qualitative information. So, all right, well then we'll look at Danielle. We'll see if we can. I have the actual hard copy ones so we could recreate that kind of a form and just have it sent out to all the registrants at the end of each day and ask them to please, we'll give instructions, that they complete that, and we'll have them email that back to you or something like that. Yeah, I think that might work. Are you guys okay? You okay with that, Justine? Makes sense? Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. Anything else that we're missing at the moment? I mean, I think that, the next steps follow-ups are going to be to just follow up with the folks who didn't send us yet the outline. And once you guys get yours from the people that you had connected with, I think it's really Dr. Humphrey. I'll find yours, Justine, that we have. Okay. We have Jody and Colleen's. I'll follow up with Dr. Frazier. We have Liza's. I'll do mine for that exciting billing procedures presentation. And then Damon will send us the cultural competence, and then any readings that they might need. We'll put that all together. Once you guys get those, just send them to me and Danielle will put that all together in an outline. We'll get that to you guys a couple days before the full meeting. It's hard to believe that it's going to be next, the 14th is next week. Yeah. Time is flying by. And that, I think, should do it. We'll get them to approve it, and then subsequent to that, we'll send out the links, any materials, let the presenters know who the facilitators are, and go from there. Any questions? We'll probably need to set up another meeting. Am I forgetting anything, Damon, or?
I don't think so.
Okay. Why don't we plan to meet again if this makes sense? Oh, I know we have to do it based on, we'll set a tentative date, but I know we have to look to make sure that the YouTube is available. But I was thinking that we would do it sometime after the full meeting. You know what I mean? Because we can communicate in between via email. I'll send you guys the curriculum once it's integrated, and then maybe we meet. What do you think? The last week of May, right before? Or do you think we should do it the week of the 17th?
I think the week of the 17th, in case we've got tweaking to do.
Yeah, I think so too. How does the 19th look? The Wednesday the 19th, or?
What are we looking at for time?
I could do any time after 11, or I could do first thing.
Yeah, I can do 9 to 11 or after, or 3 o'clock on.
Okay. How about you, Liza? Or if that's bad too, we can, if that's a bad day,
yeah.
how about the 18th, the Tuesday? Is that better? And I could do anytime
No.
after probably 11:30.
So yeah, no. I mean, I'm booked from 1 o'clock on. So if we could
Okay.
do the morning, definitely, then I can probably do it. But really, I
Yeah.
need that morning to prepare for those meetings
Oh,
in the
okay.
afternoon.
Okay.
Sorry,
How
I don't
about-
mean to be difficult.
Oh, no, it's fine. How about the 17th?
I'm good
Anytime
from noon on or 11
Yep.
on.
from noon on, or
11 would be good. Is 11 good?
11 works for
I
me.
can do 11.
Okay, that would be best. Yeah.
Okay, so let's check. We'll get, Damon can confirm it works, but for the YouTube piece of it, but let's shoot for Monday, May 17th
At
at
11.
11.
Putting it in for an hour and hoping it's much shorter than an hour.
What's that? Yeah. Well, I mean, really at that point, I'm hoping, I don't know, fingers crossed. We will have just met with the larger committee the Friday before.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we'll just, once that's approved, I don't know, we'll be, I hope, okay, good to go. I'm pretty sure everyone's good with all the dates. The presenters are all on board. The other thing, I guess I should also, maybe we should check with the presenters as well. In addition to any homework or reading materials, we should ask them if they want their PowerPoints shared with the registrants.
Yeah.
I know Jody and Colleen did not, that they weren't necessarily opposed to it, but they didn't need to, they didn't want to, I did ask and they said it didn't need to be shared, the PowerPoint itself. How about, Liza, you're gonna check with your people, or?
I'm gonna ask.
Okay.
them if they're okay with it.
And Justine, you can check with Dr. Humphrey on
Yep.
that as well.
When do we want PowerPoints by? And like, do we want them in advance if it's okay to email? Otherwise, it's just going to be us making the presenter so that they can share
Yep,
their screen,
exactly.
right? So they're going to manage their own
Yep.
PowerPoint.
Yep.
So it's just if we want to send them out, and then are we going to try to send them out? Do we want to send them in advance of meetings or after the meeting that it pertains to?
I was thinking that we would send as much out in that blast email to everybody on the, what did I say, it was the 26th, I think we were looking to do. I would probably, I just think that's easier, just because we have so many days and so if folks do want them shared, if you can tell them, to get us that. And otherwise, like what we did with Jody and Colleen was just, we'll make sure that they can share screen, and they were fine with that. Or not even, I mean, it's pretty easy.
I mean, you're probably gonna want to do the share screen anyway and let them manage their own PowerPoint.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just had a tragic incident last week where we tried to give someone remote access to my computer to manage their own PowerPoint off of my computer. I couldn't do anything on my computer while they were doing it. It was horrible.
Yeah, I know. I figure less is more, so I just think that everybody will do their own. And I find it's hard too. And even if the facilitator, I mean, I guess if they want the facilitator to man the PowerPoint, we could. But most people, I think, now would prefer to click their own screens.
Right, they know the pace they're going at.
They know the pace. Yeah. So that'll be how we'll, let them know they can manage that themselves. If somebody really feels strongly about wanting the facilitator to do it, some people like to be able to say, Danielle, next screen, or Sue, next screen, or next slide. We'll let them decide. But I think most people will probably want to manage it themselves. So so just ask folks about that, and we will send out all of that out with the link. Okay. All right. Anything else that we missed, or anything that we need to do between now and the 14th, other than collect all the outlines? I don't think so. Okay. All right, well then we'll wait to hear back from Damon about the meeting on the 17th. Hopefully that will work. And then next week, just send me all the stuff that you get. I'm going to have Danielle start to work on integrating what we already have into an outline that we can share with the full committee, and then I'll send that to you guys midweek.
So
Hopefully.
it looks like the 17th from 11 to noon is going to be okay.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Damon.
Yep.
And I finally figured out after I don't know how many meetings that I do not send a Zoom link for these meetings, that you do it through Teams because of the YouTube. I don't know how many times I've said, Danielle will send a Zoom link, and then like, no.
No, we were good. We were good this time. It was all good. So.
Yep.
Good.
I'm learning. I'm a slow learner, but I eventually figure it out. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys, all your help. I know, you know, everyone's got a boatload of things on their plate. So, you know, we'll just keep our fingers crossed that this goes swimmingly. And I think it will. I'm looking forward to it. And I will be in touch next week.
Okay.
So
Sounds
meeting,
great, guys.
I don't think I have to move for the meeting to be adjourned. So we'll just, I'll make an executive decision, unless you think I need to, Damon.
We have enough people. It never hurts to play by the book.
So moved.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Justine. Thank you, Liza. Anybody opposed?
No.
I doubt it. Okay. Excellent. Well, then meeting adjourned. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Have a good day.
Well, I think